Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm working on my L200 behind me. We're fitting a new variable geometry solenoid for the turbo. On the same bank is also a solenoid for the throttle actuator. Reasons you might change this are overboosting. If this valve doesn't open and close correctly, the geometry of your turbo doesn't change when the ECU wants it to, causing it to boost too high at the wrong times, which in turn causes the ECU to cut the fuel or limit the power in some way. Basically it will stop you getting any power over about 3k. So I actually had this problem on this truck. I went and fitted a diesel tuning box to it regardless, and that actually kind of took away the problem. It seemed to cause the ECU to just forget about the overboosting, and I'll show you actually. So up in here is, or a funny angle, let's have a look. Alright, up in here is my tuning box that I've added in. You can see here with these wire taps where it's tapped into the ECU. If people would like to see how I've done that, we can do a video on it later. So basically I added this even though I shouldn't have. My car or truck was not boosting properly, it was overboosting. But I thought I'd fire this on before fixing the problem, as you do. And it's still apparent that I have a problem, but it did affect what the ECU does, so it's not cutting power from me anymore. But how I know I've got an issue is this. So fitted this little guy here. Now this is some very temporary fitting. It's just a crap Amazon gauge, like 15 quid. It's terrible. It rattles at certain at certain pressures of boost. It just kind of rattles and makes a ticking noise. It's pretty crap. However, it has allowed me to identify that I definitely have a problem with my turbo, because as you'll see here in the video, I'm driving along here with a steady throttle and the boost gauge is just fluctuating up and down, and that's just a steady kind of coasting throttle. Apply a bit of pressure to it in 4th or 5th gear, just a slight pull, and it levels out. But this is what it does a lot of the time, just driving about in 2nd, 3rd gear. And without this gauge I wouldn't have known this issue was happening, apart from the fact that I've got a straight pipe and I can kind of hear the change in the turbo. As we're going along, the exhaust note changes accordingly. So a little test you can do if you don't have a boost gauge and you think you've got an overboost problem, if you want to identify that it's potentially something to do with the variable geometry. I'll show you what I did with my son. Unfortunately I don't have anybody here to help me right now, but I'll just point you in the right direction. So down here is our variable geometry. If you see this is the actuator, this is the vacuum hose right here going down to the actuator, and the actuator is just this long arm connecting to this valve, or whatever you'd want to call it, a lever on the turbo. Hopefully you can see that there. So how I could visually see this was not working. I had my son sit and take the RPMs to about 3000, and it's just enough to cause a very slight fluctuation on the turbo, on the boost gauge, but you will see this valve moving in and out, and that confirmed that I do have a problem with that. So I mean, looking in here you can see all these red lines. I've changed near enough every vacuum line on the truck so far. I actually haven't showed you, this is the variable geometry solenoid here, and the one next to it, the black one, is for the throttle valve, which is this here. So we're changing both of them today. Those are variable geometry and throttle solenoids. Down here you've got another two. Those red hoses down there are for the freewheel clutch, the 4x4, and if you have a later model with the EGR, you have two over here which control that, so they run all the way along the back here. Nice tidy wiring. Look, we just sort that, just restored that right there. They run right back through here and along to here. So all I'm doing today is removing this clamp to get this hose off to give us some access into the bit we want to change, and then I'm literally just going to hope for the best. There are other things that could be causing this. Generally, I mean, it's a problem with vacuum that I've got. It's losing vacuum somewhere. I'm hoping it's just these old solenoids that are losing the vacuum, and that's what's causing them to, you know, suck, not suck, suck, not suck. It's just struggling to hold the vacuum on the actuator when it should. So, like I said, I've replaced all those hoses, so I'm sure it's not a hose. There is a couple ones left that when we're in here, I'm going to change. I'm going to replace the solenoid while we're there. It could still be leaking vacuum elsewhere, so, but for 30 quid to know that I've got good actuators or good solenoids, I've just spent that money. So let's show you what I've got to do the job. So just got some basic stuff with me today. I've got some WD-40 for sliding on the new silicone hoses. Actually, one thing that's not here is some vacuum hose. Grabbed some of that off Amazon, quite cheap. I can't remember what, I think it was 3mm vacuum hose. Here's a piece here, I've got a little bit left. So I'll confirm this in the description, or in fact no, I'll put it on the video just now what millimetre this is. I'll check my Amazon, but grab yourself some of that to replace as many lines as possible as you can while you're in there. Got some snips to, well, they're tin snips, they're overkill, but just to snip some line to shape, to size. Got some spanners just in case, and I've got a quarter drive ratchet set there. And of course, we have the new solenoid. So there's the number on this. Actually, I should say now that this listing was actually for a Shogun, but I mean, they look identical, so hopefully they fit the L200. There we are. That's the guys. So brown is the variable geometry, black is the throttle actuator. So it's only a couple of hoses to transfer over, and we'll be good. Oh, this ratchet has seen a lot of water damage, a lot of rust damage. Actually, I left it in the back of the bed of this, and it just got covered in water. Some lube in here. We'll slide off. Oh, I'm just going to tuck that out of the way because I don't know how to get into this. The other side of that clamp, there's a bit of a shield on this. Can't remember if it just comes off with the brackets right here, but if I can avoid taking it off, I'm gonna. Not really made it any clearer, has it? Oh well. Should be a bolt here. Should only be 2 nuts on this, so shouldn't be too hard to get into. We can take off the throttle actuator. And this guy. Let's try and get some lube on these bolts. This little hose here, definitely want to replace that element there, that just looks sketchy. Right, pop, and pop. Right, what else we got coming off of here? So that's contained to that. We have our 2 plugs to take out the way. There's one. Two. Right, let's move that out of the way. That's looking a bit clearer now, so we should have one more black hose coming from the body somewhere. Looks like this one here. Yep, so I'll actually take this off at this split here. So the new solenoid didn't come with this little T-piece here, so we'll need to swap this over. But I'm just going to split this now. See how easy this comes off. Oh, lovely. Oh wait, was that the right one? Where's that one go? Yeah, that was the right one. Okay. Right, what are we talking? I think we're a 12mm there. This hose here runs through the bracket, so when we get this off, this guy is going to get replaced. There's a nice little piece here we could replace as well while we're in there. Where does that go? Don't like the look of it anyway. Right, let's get this off. Oh, it's tight. Oh, that was tight. Yeah, that's a big 12mm. Up and out. I need to check that I've got this hole actually on the new bracket. If not, we could just swap this over, swap the bolts over. Oh, there we go. Cool. Some sort of vacuum line there, so we'll keep this handy and cut the other hose to size. Where does this guy go? I cannot see where that is going. Right, have a look with a torch. So this little line here, right, this little hose you can see here, right below this red line, it's a T-pieced metal part, metal pipe there in the middle, and it runs down just to the back of this silver bracket here. But just right behind here is another metal pipe, so this little hose is sandwiched between 2 metal pipes, so the only way I can really see to get it off is just to cut it. Oh, actually I could maybe unbolt the pipe there, but I'm just going to slice it in the middle and take each end off, and then just try and shoehorn in a nice new hose. What could go wrong there? I mean, I can't see where I'm putting the hose on. Well, let's give it a go. Right. Some lube for her pleasure. Right, start with this side that we can see. Boom. Oh, that's gone forever. Right, how am I getting this one off? Oh, yes. Oh, I dropped that one too. Shit. I'm sure it didn't fall anywhere important. Maybe onto the manifold? I don't know. It's gone for good now anyway. Take a hose. Take a new hose. Hold them together. Make the same shape. And then cut it. There we go, so that's that one replaced. I'm actually going to put that on last because I want to do this one at the back here first. And actually, what is this one? Yeah, this needs to come off too. Yeah. Bit of lube in there. That'll lubricate the vacuum system. Sorry guys, I realise I'm not really in the frame for any of this part here, but well, I kind of need to be here to see what I'm doing. Should be it. There we go. Lovely. So again, let's cut another hose. Okay, and again I'm going to slip that one on after, so let's make one up from here to just below. It's not very long, it's not got to be too long I don't think. Right, wanted to try and show you what we're working with here into the back, so here's the little pipes that I'm dealing with in the back of the engine. This is on wide angle so it might be hard to see, but you have one right where my finger is here and another just behind it. So the one at the very back is what goes onto this T-piece here. Little hose that can fail. So replace that while you're in here, because you can see, you might just be able to see how hard it is to access. So get it now before it drives you insane looking for a vacuum leak. You don't want to take this all off again, although it's quite simple, but get it now. Oh, this isn't the first time I've climbed in this engine bay. Just trying to feed this hose onto the pipe. Right. So it's hard to see and access, but you can get down the back and feel, you can feel how much hose you have on the pipe, you can feel it. So let's hope we've got it on enough. So this stuff's a bit more flexible than the hose that we took off, so it should be easy to bend down and get on here. Sorry, I realise you cannot see what I'm doing. I'm just cutting this hose to length. There we go. So we want about there. Let's try and cut it straight. straight enough. That's seated nicely. Right, what else did we have to do? One on here and one on here. Where did these go? I wish I could remember. Easiest one so far because we can see it. Right, let's go swap this over. Look at the colour of this rig. That's the winter salt we've got on the road at the moment. Glistening. Something new since last time, these big spotlights. Amazon numbers. Professional wiring job. These brackets are a lifesaver. I made some homemade brackets and they were really flimsy and bendy. But those clamp style ones are the business. If you want to see how I wired them into the high beams on the L200, the K74, drop it in the comments below and I might do a video on it. Right, here's a new one and our old one. Any matching numbers? Oh yeah, they're the same part number. K5T48272, and this is the same. KT48272. Cool, so they're the same parts, which is good. Obviously made by different people, but... So, I replaced my freewheel clutch solenoids and it came with a new loop here, this teed off piece. Came with a new one of those. This doesn't, so we're going to reuse this tee, but I'm going to put some fresh hoses on again. So, first of all, let's swap over a good hose. Like that. Okay, and this guy. Let me actually trim that a bit better. Oh. Get in there. Right. Now just this little loopy guy. Well, we don't need this off, we just need the T. So here's the direction the T goes. Comes from the back here to this side, one this side, so let's do that. Well, first let's get some hose on there maybe. Yeah, okay. Right, let's free out this T piece. There we go, so that's the back. Oh, why didn't I put lube on that? Okay, that's in enough. But this one's getting lube. That should be enough. Alright, there we are. Back to how we removed this one from the car. So now I just need to remember where this went. Which one went where, basically, because I can't remember. Right, reassembly is just going to be the reverse of disassembly, so we'll just blitz through this right now. So we've got to slide, we're going to slide our hose here through this hole and get it seated down. Oh dear. Oh dear. Easier said than done. So I'll need to see where have I got an extra hose. I must have an extra hose somewhere. I'm really confused. Now where does this guy go? What? What have I done? Right, so this one goes over to the bottom here. Okay, so this one's to the top of here. And then this one is our throttle actuator. Something like that. So what was this guy off again? Oh, it's the T-piece. Right. Man, I'm losing my mind here with so many hoses. I'm just losing my shit. Alright, so now we've just got to bolt it on. I feel for anyone working on a lifted version of one of these, because this is just at stock height and my legs are killing me from leaning over this engine bay. Right, so new variable geometry and throttle actuators on, both plugged in, all the hoses are hooked up. But while I'm here, one last thing I want to change while I'm out here with the hoses and the snips is this guy. This is the variable geometry pressure sensor, apparently. And you can see here, it's got one little hose, it's just a little L shape. It goes from here right to, where are we? Just down there. Just trust me, it's there. Right, that's it. Yeah, right below that hose. So I'm just going to change that little elbow, and then that leaves, that's every hose, every rubber hose, and this will be replaced bar just this one here, which is the EGR. It just runs from here to here. Which, yeah, I mean, I'm officially out of hose for today anyway, so it's not getting changed today. Well, let's check she still starts. We'll know actually if the geometry is working, because we'll hear the turbo whistle through the exhaust if it is. Yep, that's it. So I'll tell you this away from the engine, but another little test of your solenoid for the variable geometry is that starting the engine pulls the lever from the rear of the vehicle to the front. So you'll see here, you can see there that it's came back to the stop screw. That's what it should do when you start the engine. So we will let this guy warm up, and then we'll take it for a drive and see if there's any improvement. So fingers crossed. Small boo-boo in video production. I thought my batteries for my GoPro were charged. They are not. They are neither charged, so we'll take it for a little test drive and I'll need to use the phone, but I'm really just looking to see that the boost gauge doesn't do what it did before. So I'll take us for a spin here. I'll show you if there's anything to report. Okay, I might have set a temporary lights here, but I think we solved it. I've literally drove around the corner, not far at all, but it feels different, it looks different on the gauge. This is my little bouncy gauge. This is why you don't buy Amazon. It's actually moving a lot faster than that. The phone's just making it look very slow. It's moving so fast, but I mean, it's alright with a bit of pressure. As you can see, it evens out, but don't buy an Amazon gauge I mean, this is super temporary for a reason. I'm gonna fix it with, gonna put a single pod on top of the dash there, and get a nice gauge when I make it more permanent. That's just there because I needed to know what was happening, and I wanted to know what was happening with my engine, and I wanted to see what adding the diesel tuning box did to my turbo. So I wanted to know what was going on. So I'll try and get on the motorway for a quick blast, and I'll show you what the gauge is doing then, because that's what I showed you in comparison previously. I showed you what it was doing, the way it was fluctuating, so fingers crossed it's solved it, but I think it has, and I'm quite happy about that.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Well, strangely, it does still seem to do it a little bit sitting at 70. It is a bit slower than what it was. If I put the foot down, you can see it evens right out, like. But yeah, strange one, I'm not sure. I've definitely noticed a difference with it at low RPMs. Like it used to do it to me in second and third, I could hear it, and it's not doing it now, and it is boosting properly. So a strange one, but actually something I haven't showed you is how loud this truck is now that I've fitted this diesel box to it. So let me try and show you some of that. A little bit windy. You want to hear something ridiculous? Such a ridiculous vehicle. The wee fifth gear pull is good as well. Now we need to stop because there's traffic. Doesn't get old. Well, I'm going to be honest, troops, I don't think it's fixed. Let's have a look. Oh, that's a speed bump. Right, that's pretty much the same problem I had before, so it was worth a shot. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. What's going on here? Well, let's summarise what we've done today. We've changed the variable geometry solenoid. I've showed you how to do that at least, so if yours is knackered. It's kind of why I make these videos, because it's exactly what I use YouTube for. I always search for what I'm about to do to see if somebody's done it, to see what tools I'll need. If halfway through the video they needed to go and buy more vacuum hose, then I can go and do that to prepare. So at least we've done that today, and we know that's a good part on the car now. Next, I guess, I'll probably need to actually buy a vacuum tester, which I should have done in the first place, and see where the vacuum leak is, test the other solenoids, see what's good. I don't actually like the EGR solenoids rattle about like crazy, and the only information I can find out about that online is a snippet of a forum post where somebody mentioned it, and then somebody replied just saying, oh yeah, mine clicks like that all the time. Don't know if that means that they're meant to or not, and I can't find much more information out about them, so look at them. I think if I just delete the EGR, I could probably just get rid of those solenoids. I don't see why I would need them, so that would eliminate potential vacuum leaks in the future. Also, I'm not quite sure, I just double checked the four-wheel drive vacuum system. I have issues with four-wheel drive anyway, it doesn't work. And I actually think I might have the check valve in the wrong place. It's a little valve that stops vacuum going the wrong way or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's meant to go to the vacuum canister, but I've just noticed mine is going towards the engine block, so I'm going to double check that and maybe revisit that later. But thanks for watching, guys. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. I mean, I'm quite taken aback by how many views some of these posts have got so far. I can't believe anybody wants to watch me do it with cars, but thanks for your support, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.